Ross from Moshville Times here, and I'm here with Tilly. How's it going?
Grand, thank you.
I think we're just going to start literally from the start. How did music start for you?
So I've grown up around music my entire life, living in a music venue. My dad's a DJ, well, was a DJ. He was like in the Canaries and everything. And he was also in a band, so I used to go to his gigs when I was little tiny baby. Um, and yeah, so when I was younger as well, I would take my older brother's iPod and listen to his music in the back of the car. So that's another part where it branched from. But I've lived in a music venue for the last 14 years of my life. So that's kind of another big influence on my life and my music.
hmm So, what's growing up in a venue slash pub like?
It's very interesting because you see a lot of different people every single day. Um, and you meet a lot of people. And just being in that environment itself just gives you a lot more to mature about mentally. Like you see what happens to these people when they drink alcohol and all the rest of it, and it just makes you think, oh well, I'm not going to do that when I'm older. Well, not I'm not going to do it, but you know what I mean.
hmm
Um, but yeah, it gives you a lot more mental maturity of how to act around people and things like that. So yeah, it's very interesting.
So, obviously, like with your dad being in bands and taking your brother's iPod, what are your influences as music? Did they influence your music?
Yes, massively. Um, so my dad is a massive fan of like the 50s, 60s, 70s music, like fusion music. Um, my mom, she's late 70s, 80s music, and then my oldest brother, he's like 90s grunge metal and things like that. So I've kind of got an influence from all three of them. Um, and they're basically my saving grace. So and over the years I've progressed my music taste and what I listen to, and yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, to say the least, with my music, because I've listened to so many different genres over the years, and I guess pop punk has just kind of stuck.
So, when did you actually start making your own music?
um so it was about a year ago when me and Mike actually recorded our first track together. But I was actually not signed with someone, but I was working with someone for the experience um a couple of years before that. So, oh, excuse me. I say it wasn't exactly my music because it was all songs that they had written, and they just wanted me to sing them in the studio and everything. So I did. And then, but at this point I was like 13 years old. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just vibing really in the studio and just learning and picking up skills of how to be in a studio and how to work in a studio and everything. So it's very interesting. Um, so yeah, it's been about a year since me and Mike have started working together.
So obviously, there is a very pop punky sound to this single. Is that what came naturally, or was it a conscious choice of I want to sound like this?
So the song itself was actually written 10 years ago, um, which was quite insane when Mike told me, because it sounded like a Taylor Swift song,
Mm.
with like the guitar and everything. But Mike asked me, how do you want this song to be? Do you want it to be similar to what it is, or do you want to like make it heavy? And I was like, you know what, let's make it heavy. So we made it, obviously, the song it is now. Um, and yeah, we kind of just hit it off straight away with the song. It's a very powerful anthem, I must admit. Very powerful anthem.
Mm. And it's also recently hit over 1 million views on YouTube, I was reading.
Yeah, which is insane. Insane.
Yeah. So as well, last week you played it as the single launch at the Feathers. How was that?
That was it was very surreal. Very surreal. Like playing my first gig at my home. I'm
hmm
just like, whoa, whoa. You can't. A lot of artists can't say that they do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being the band's first show, how did the band actually come together?
So obviously, Mike, my producer, was on lead guitar. Daisy and Mitch are both quite big on social media, so we actually got in contact with them. But Mike already knew Mitch, the drummer, so Mike was like, "Oh, Mitch, do you want to come play drums for Tilly?" He's like, "Oh yeah, why not?" And then we got in contact with Daisy, and she obviously came along pretty much straight away. And I must say, it's like a second family with the three of them, which is really nice, to be honest, because they're all really lovely people. And for Mike, it just goes anyway, because I've known him since like 2019, so he's like part of our family anyway.
So how long did you actually spend rehearsing for the show? Because I noticed that you were really tight.
A day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a day. Because so on the Monday of that week, I went and recorded a new track, and then the Wednesday I was back down to rehearsal, and then so that was we were there from about 4:30 to about 8 o'clock. So it's 4 solid hours of rehearsing and everything, maybe a little bit longer. And then on Thursday we obviously still went through the songs about 2-3 times, and then obviously the evening just fireworks and everything. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So you also mentioned on stage that you've got another single coming. What can you tell us about it?
Oh, so this next one is going to be a little bit harder edge than Best Breakup. And again, it's another anthem. I guess you'll just have to see what comes, because it's so interesting, the whole song. It's very hard hitting, very, very good. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's
And
gonna be really good.
have you got anything else in the pipeline?
Oh yeah, so the new single is hopefully coming out in October time, and then an EP next year as well, and then an album, obviously. But I think we're working on festivals in October as well, so hopefully we should be going along with some festivals, and that will be up on my social media when they do confirm.
That sounds good. So who else would you like to perform with?
So for me personally, I love Avril. As you can tell, there's a lot of Avril influence. Hayley Williams is another one. Young Blood, Bring Me the Horizon. Gosh, there's so many people who I'd love to work with, but those are probably the main four who I'd love to like collaborate with.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for your time, Tilly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem.